my little bride. Look at this. See, the Y4 shutter cuts the shutter to 100. Look at the detail.
Brad, it's beautiful.
Yeah, isn't it? Well, I better get packing. Heavy dew last night. Those wildflowers are gonna have a texture to them like velvet today. I won't be back till sunset. You miss me?
Mm-hmm. Like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
While you're gone, I better drive into the city today and do some shopping. The lottery is getting a little low.
Well, look, splurge. As soon as we get this series off to the annual, we'll be solving again. You'll see.
Okay, bye.
You bet. Bye-bye. What are you doing here?
Hello. Surprised?
How did you get on board?
Haven't you ever heard of stowaways?
I thought I made it clear a month ago. Nothing. Not a cent.
How can a rich man like you let his son live from one day to the next, from hand to mouth?
I bet it came as quite a surprise to you, didn't it? The bride of poor Brad Fredericks discovered she's actually married a Catlin, heir to an untold fortune. You had to know he was a Catlin or you wouldn't have married him.
I found out by accident that he was your son. Brad doesn't know that I even know who he really is.
He wants to wander around like a hippie taking pictures of crocuses for $20 a crocus. That's his business. And if he's too proud to put on a suit and a tie and take his rightful place in the Catlin Industries, then both of you can go right on living on thistles and pine cones and chicken fat. That's final.
I wouldn't have come, Mr. Catlin. Only I'm going to have a baby.
Come now.
How can you disinherit your son when he's about to make you a grandfather?
You are something else. Let me tell you something, young lady. I don't buy that any more than I buy the rest of your little conniving story. I say you're much too smart to let motherhood interfere with your plans.
What plans? All I want is...
All you want is what you married Brad for. Money. I think it's time he understood that.
Now, wait a minute. I don't want to hurt Brad.
You're not going to hurt Brad. I haven't disinherited Brad, but I think it's time he was disenchanted. I'm going to turn this boat around, and we're both going to see him. Let him take a second look at the little money-grabbing earth mother he's married to.
Mr. Jones, my brother was an excellent yachtsman. He didn't make dumb mistakes. He didn't get where he was in life by making dumb mistakes.
You don't get there without making a few enemies either.
Meaning what, Barnaby?
Meaning if it wasn't an accident, then it was something else. And enemies are something else.
I don't know. There was some fight over voting proxies. Mr. Sloan was involved. But I didn't follow R.B.'s business dealings that closely, Mr. Jones. I invested 700 of my hard-earned schoolteacher dollars with my brother when he first started out. And he made me comfortably wealthy, but that's all I know about business.
Where do I find out about this, Mr. Sloan?
Well, it should be in R.B.'s ledger. He kept a daily ledger, a diary of sorts, for 20 years. You're welcome to look at it.
Yeah, I think I ought to do that. Your brother had 2 sons. Will they carry on?
Arthur, he's been carrying on since he was a teenager. That's R.B.'s son by his first wife. His mother died when the boy was only 2.
And the other boy?
Bradley? That's R.B.'s son by his second wife. Poor Bradley. He thought the demands of being Mrs. Catlin helped kill his mother.
Does Bradley live here?
No, he's been traipsing off to become a nature photographer. He took his mother's maiden name, Fredericks, as if he wanted to disown his father.
I'd like to talk to both of them.
Well, I sent notifications to their last whereabouts, but neither one of them made it to the funeral.
Eddie, you check with the Coast Guard and see if they took pictures of the boat exactly as they found it. See if we can get copies.
Then you will look into it.
My decks are cleared. Let's get underway.
You mean this is where you lived? Brad, I just don't believe it.
Well, don't let it fool you. It's nothing but a factory in disguise.
I'm a little scared. You know, it's like I don't know who you are or who I am.
But come on, let's pay our respects and then we'll get back to where we belong.
Bradley.
Aunt Meg.
Oh.
You're as thin as a rail. You're not eating.
See, she's accusing you of starving me. Aunt Meg, I'd like you to meet my wife, Melissa.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no apology necessary. I am a terrible cook.
Come on, get your things. Your room's ready.
Oh, Aunt Meg, we can't stay. I just stopped by to pay my respects.
Why, of course you'll stay.
Well, isn't Art here?
Arthur arrived early today, but he was so overcome with grief that he had to run into town to drown his sorrows, I presume. Now, come on. I sent you a wire to Taos, New Mexico.
Oh, we left there over a month ago. We've been photographing up near Idlewild for the past couple of weeks.
Our newspapers are a little ancient. We only learned last night.
Mr. Jones, I'd like you to meet my youngest nephew, Bradley.
How do you do?
My pleasure.
Oh, and his wife.
Oh, Melissa.
Melissa Frederick. I mean Catlin. I still can't get used to it.
How do you do? I guess we can put these away. No smoke, no fire. That proxy business was settled several weeks ago.
What's going on, anyway?
I've hired Mr. Jones to look into your father's death.
Well, I thought the newspaper said it was an accident.
Did you ever know your father to have an accident?
Not unless you count me.
I understand you enjoy working out of doors. You're a man after my own heart.
Oh, I'm sure my Aunt Meg has billed me as the starving photographer.
This color seems good. I wouldn't worry about the woodsy ones.
Well, I like to enjoy living while I'm making a living.
Well, you can't ask for more than that. Call you in the morning?
I'll see you out.
No, never mind. Very happy to meet you all.
Yeah.
Bye.
on, I want to look around that side.
Oh, well, you go ahead. I want to talk to Aunt Meg.
Okay.
Well, now, tell me what you've been up to. Aunts have a right to know a few things.
A gentleman would invite me in, you know.
A gentleman wouldn't be seen talking to you. Now, you wait for me at the apartment.
Okay, what do I tell them if Harry Olmo calls again?
You tell them to get them off my back. At the very least they can do, they can have the decency to wait until the will is read. Now, come on, shoot.
Mr. Catlin.
Guilty.
I'm Barnaby Jones, private investigator.
Good old Aunt Meg. She doesn't even trust an act of God, does she?
I understand you were out of town and didn't make it to your father's funeral.
Yeah, I was in Las Vegas. I was buying the cornerstone to a new hotel. That's a confession, only one to a customer.
When did you hear about your father's death?
4 o'clock? I don't remember whether it was a.m. or p.m. You know Vegas.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Catlin.
Look, Aunt Meg, I don't need anything. And I don't want anything.
Very nice speech, Brad. Still playing Robinson Crusoe, huh?
Aye.
Is that any way to greet your brother? And don't you think you've had enough?
Aunt Meg, a private investigator? Really? Something new's been added. Who's the new pool man?
That's Brad's wife, Melissa.
Living with the birds and the bees gave you some ideas, eh, Brad?
Leave her be.
Don't worry about Melissa. She can take care of herself.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
I'm Melissa, Brad's wife. You must be,
Bah! Art, the black sheep of the family. You know, for a half-sister-in-law, you're not half bad. Hey, don't I know you?
I don't think so. I'm sorry about your father.
Sure. Your hair was different and you weren't wearing any jeans or anything like that.
I think you've had a little too much to drink. We've never met before.
We met in the Bahamas. They imported a whole group of pretty young things like you for the customers. You were the best one of the lot.
I don't know what you're talking about. Now let go of me.
Yes, you do, Melinda.
My name is Melissa.
I liked you, remember? I never heard those wedding bells you kept tinkling in my ear. But after you struck out with me, you kept pumping me about that shutterbug brother of mine back in Taos, didn't you? That's what you did. You changed your outfit. You went after him.
I'm afraid that you're mistaken.
There's nothing to be afraid of. This is great. Let's just say that your secret will be something that you and I share together.
I hear something.
Sorry, Barnaby, that may be a brushstroke to you, but it looks like a sandwich to me.
That's exactly what it is, and it looks like you took one bite out of it. Looks like Mr. Catlin had sat down for lunch, but he didn't finish it.
What do you think happened?
Why would he set the automatic pilot? Come out here, start to eat his lunch, take one bite, and then suddenly decide to change course unless something or someone interrupts him?
Barnaby, everyone said that when he left, he was alone. And he was alone when they found him.
It's too much to believe that he would spin this wheel hard enough to override the automatic pilot, jibe the boat, and let the boom swing over here and kill him. I'll bet you $1 to a slice of salami that something interrupted his lunch.
Meaning someone.
Yeah, and the list can get pretty long. Let's start close to home. There's his son, Art Catlin, who said he was in Las Vegas when his father was killed. Why don't you check the hotels down there?
Right, I can do that.
And I have a license number. He has a female chauffeur. She ought to know something about his coming and going.
Why don't you just ask him?
Well, I don't like to let people study the questions too long before I hear the answers.
To my dear sister Meg, whose faith in me has already made her a wealthy woman, I leave only my best wishes for a long life and good health. She already has everything else that money can buy. To my son Arthur, who long ago gambled away any hopes that I had for him, I leave the sum of $50,000 so that he may make one last gamble on himself or on any game he chooses.
No! Pompous, self-righteous.
Father, be quiet, please. Go on.
Well, except for that bequest and 2 other small gifts to charities, the entire estate and interest in Catlin Industries is left to you, Bradley.
All right.
Bradley, let go.
Melissa?
Are they through in there?
Yeah, they're through in there, but we're not through out here.
You look like a little boy who only got the wing and the neck at a chicken dinner.
Yeah, you're right. Bradley got it all, baby, except for the nickels and dimes. But Bradley doesn't know that I have a little prior interest in his chicken.
Stop that.
I've got a little proposition for you, Melinda.
You call me anything you want, and you tell Brad anything you like. I'll deny it. And he'll believe me.
Yeah, Bradley's going to believe you. But I'm not so sure a certain Mr. Barnaby Jones won't want to dig a little bit deeper when he knows all about you. He'd just love to know how you happened to meet and marry dear, dear Bradley.
What do you want?
You're going to have a say in running the financial matters of Catlin Industry now. You're going to see to it that your favorite brother-in-law is very well taken care of. Aren't you? There's plenty for everybody. Hey, Melinda.
Barnaby Jones. How's the Sherlocking going these days?
Oh, so-so. How's the Shylocking? Of course, our percentage is not nearly as good as in collecting. How's everything in Vegas?
You know me, Barnaby. Las Vegas is just another town in Nevada to me. Sorry, gotta run.
See you around, Harry.
Harry Olmo is a friend. What business is it of yours anyway?
Harry can't afford friends. He's a collector for gambling spots halfway around the world.
Well, you know what? I don't have to tell a private investigator anything. So why don't you just leave while it's still nothing to nothing?
Over at the Catlin house, I got the impression that Art owed somebody. Harry is a collector. That's not nothing to nothing, that's 2 and 2.
So Art gambles. Everybody knows that. And everybody knows he's got credit. All over.
He had credit. I talked to his aunt a couple of hours ago. Arthur didn't inherit enough money to finance a lifetime career at the tables.
Oh, yeah? That's not the way I heard it.
Well, it must be the way Harry heard it, or he would have left here with a bigger smile on his face.
Hey, wait a minute. All Harry Olmo has to know is that he's going to get his money.
I'm a little harder to please. I want to know how.
Why are you asking me? Ask him.
I suppose you were up there in Las Vegas watching him gamble away his inheritance during his own father's funeral?
He didn't know such a thing. He was right here. Because we had a party going, a 4-day swinging party.
How about the afternoon his father died, the 7th? Was he here then?
You get out of here. No!
Better think about it, Junie. The district attorney will be asking that question. Only he'll want an answer.
I'll try not to be long.
I still don't understand why you have to go tonight.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Catlin. I had to get the board of directors together before tomorrow's deadline.
I guess it's the least I can do for my father. Well, wait up for me, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
I'll see to tomorrow's menu.
That's just the start. The overnight trips, nighttime meetings. It's going to get very lonesome around the old barn on those long nights.
Oh, she wouldn't do that.
Wait a minute. I know you remember. A real barracuda, but not without talent.
Please.
Baby, Bradley isn't your type. Bradley doesn't know the first thing about the care and feeding of barracuda.
Are you crazy? The old girls are in the house all the time.
Auntie a very heavy sleeper.
I know a place that's nice and cozy. Why don't you drive down the road and wait for me?
Well, you wouldn't be just trying to get rid of me, would you?
No. Now go on. I'll go up to my room, then I'll sneak down the stairs up the balcony.
Yeah, that's the Melinda I remember. You know, I just had a thought in it, Din. I looked at you and I said to myself, I wonder if she could have knocked off the old man herself. Wouldn't put it past her.
If you're that far gone in the brandy, you're not going to be much fun, darling.
Don't worry about me, baby. Just down the road? I'll be waiting.
Did Arthur leave?
Yes, I hope he's all right to drive. I'm tired. I think I'll go upstairs and lie down till Brad gets home.
Very well, dear. Good night.
You're right on time, Contessa.
I'll drive. I don't want to spoil everything by getting stopped.
That's my baby. got the feeling that this is going to be the start of a beautiful relationship.
Take it easy, Arnold. Look, it's tricky enough driving through here as it is. You better get out and take a look.
Forget it. Let's go. I'll have it checked tomorrow.
No, better check the headlight. The police will stop us if the light's out.
Man, you really got to be born with a death wish to drive this canyon under the influence.
You think he was thrown clear of the car?
Looks like it.
Oh, no.
He shouldn't have come.
I knew Arthur had been drinking, but I didn't know he was that drunk.
There's no way of actually telling what really happened.
Suicide. Wanted that money so bad. Couldn't see himself living without it.
Well, now, there isn't any evidence of that, Mr. Catlin.
Sure there is. I've seen it all my life. Should have known. I would have given it to him, all of it. What good is it anyway?
How can you say that, Brad? I mean, you don't know this could have happened anyway. Then everything would have ended up no use to anyone.
One last gamble. Huh. Isn't that what the will said?
I don't understand why you've come to see me, Mr. Jones.
Well, the circumstances of Mr. Catlin's accident, I figured he could have been on his way to see you. And if not, he may have told you where he was going.
No, Arthur didn't exactly confide in me. I was his companion, and a darn good one, too. Now I'm out of work.
You were fond of Art Catlin.
That's a jerky word. Fond is for teddy bears. He was a habit, okay? There's bad and there's worse. At least he wasn't worse. Yeah, I guess I was fond of him.
Where'd you meet Arthur?
In the Bahamas. I was working as a lounge photographer in a spot down there. Among other things, you don't have to look at me like I invented sin or something. Arthur had a whole string of girls. I never tried to fool myself. But I was his favorite.
I had a talk with Harry Olmo. He said that Art called him and said that although the inheritance wouldn't cover his debt, he was expecting a lot more soon. Any idea where from?
All I remember is Art said, old lovers never die. They just pay and pay. He said it like it was the magic word or something. I could just tell.
Doesn't sound like the magic word to me. It sounds like blackmail. Now, come on. He must have mentioned a name. He knew something. Someone who was like money in the bank to him. Now, think back.
Well, he was asking to see those pictures, but that wouldn't have anything to do with here.
What pictures? We may be getting warm and don't know it.
Yeah. Yeah, these. They're copies of a lot of the pictures I took of people in the Bahamas in the lounge.
Any particular one?
Yeah, this one. Melinda Pollock. She spun a web all over the place trying to catch Art. He wasn't the marrying kind. I could have told her.
Hi.
Hi, honey. Willie here, I've got great news.
No, ladies first. I've got a surprise for you.
Okay, all right.
I've ordered an absolute fortune in darkroom equipment. They're going to set it up in that big room right behind the servants' quarters. And you can play photographer till your heart's content. Big, busy man. Now you'll need the relaxation.
Oh, that's what I've been trying to tell you. I'm no longer a busy man. I've decided to chuck the whole thing.
What?
After 2 meetings with the board of directors, I'm already strangling. So I decided to turn it over to somebody else.
Slow down. You're not making any sense.
It's the first sense I've made in days. I've already talked to Lyle Stranton, and he's going to start setting it up first thing on Monday when he gets back from New York.
Set what up?
The Catlin Foundation. I'm going to put the Catlin fortune to work. A board will manage Catlin Industries using the profits from all that money where it'll do the most good.
Brad, you can't just...
But I can do it. Oh, Aunt Meg can have the house if she wants it, but the rest is all going to be put to work for the people who need it the most. I've never been any good at handling money, and now I don't have to handle a dollar of it. What's wrong?
It's just such a shock. I mean, your father wanted you to.
But what good did it do my father? He's dead. And Art's dead. And if I have to sit through another board of directors meeting, I'll be dead.
Well...
We have to live our own lives, Melissa. We agreed on that when we got married. And I'm not going to let you down. So why don't you pack up the camper and we'll get back where we belong.
Yes, of course, darling. Whatever you say. Just so long as I'm with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, what's the verdict from Taos, New Mexico?
Melissa Morgan arrived in Taos 1 year ago, and by the strangest coincidence enrolled in the same photographic class as Bradley Catlin, or Frederick, as he called himself then.
Photographic class?
Yes, it was an 8-week course conducted by a famous nature photographer.
And nature took its course.
Nature isn't quite that natural. Because 2 months earlier, Melinda Pollock had tried to get brother Art Catlin to tumble for her in the Bahamas.
She gets around. Driver's license issued to Melinda Pollock shows her last address, Orlando, Florida. The owner of the building at that address said that she was a swimmer with a water ballet group at Undersea Gardens. Barnaby, are you sure it's the same girl?
Darken the hair, take away the makeup, earrings, and swinging Melinda becomes Sweet Melissa.
Oh, you're quite an artist.
Not half the artist that Sweet Melissa seems to be. A quick-change con artist who strikes out with brother Art, but not before she finds out he has a brother who is roughing it in Taos.
Bradley.
But she has a problem. Little does she know that Bradley will not touch his father's money with a 10-foot pole.
You think she tried to get money out of R.B. Catlin on her own?
Didn't you say she was a professional swimmer?
Catlin, but... Barnaby, you're not saying she killed him?
I don't know. 30, 40 minutes, she's ashore, then all she has to do is wait for the inheritance.
Wait and worry a little. She must have known that she'd have to meet Art Catlin again.
Yes, and if he did recognize her, that might explain why he was so confident about getting more money.
Well, what can you do?
There's one thing I have to do in a hurry. I have to have a quick, quiet talk with Bradley Catlin. Miss Catlin?
Oh, hello.
Bradley around?
No, he left about a couple of hours ago. Drove up to Lake San Fernando to take some pictures. Never could understand that boy, wanting to look at the world through a viewfinder. Now, maybe I do. Maybe that's why he wants to give it all away.
It's coming a little too fast for me. Give all what away?
Everything. Everything that has the Catlin brand on it. He's having Lyle Stratton start the whole thing in motion Monday. A foundation for worldwide charities or something like that.
Well, how did his wife take that little piece of news?
All right, I guess. I don't understand her quite, but she seemed happy enough about the whole thing when Brad left.
I'd like to talk to her.
Well, she should be back shortly. She went to the doctor's, coming down with a cold. Is something wrong?
Do you happen to know which doctor?
Yes, our family doctor, Edwin Majeski.
You have his number?
I'll see.
Hello? I'm trying to locate Melissa Catlin. Is she in your office now? Why has she been there? I see. Well, thank you very much. I'm sorry to have bothered you.
She isn't there?
She had an appointment, but she didn't keep it.
That's strange. She said she was going.
Where did you say that Bradley was taking these pictures?
Somewhere up around Lake San Fernando.
You all right? Yeah, I'm all right. Wait here.
If you had taken a course in auto mechanics instead of photography, you'd know that a car just doesn't have the old get up and go with the coil wire missing. Might as well crawl out of there, Melissa or Melinda or whatever your name is. This is one murder scene you're not going to walk away from or swim away from.
Mr. Jones, I'd like to talk to her.
Well, come on.
Officer?
You'd like to talk to her?
Melissa, if you just told me how important that money was to you.
You'd never understand. How could you? You were born rich. You lived rich. You were so rich you didn't even want the money. I've never had anything my whole life.
But was it worth killing two people?
I'd have sold my soul for it.
And now the climactic end of last year's most unbelievable football season. Behind by 5 points. The final moments of the game slipping away. Quarterback Mark Rainey fades back. It's a long, arching pass. Tanner's got it. Touchdown. Another beautiful play from the magical combination of Mark Rainey to Feather Tanner.
Baby, now you tell me, how come is it every time close-ups, it's always you all-American boys and never one of us pretty linemen?
Maynard, that's because linemen don't just work in the pit. They're so ugly they should live in one.
Ooh, Feather, if
Some kind of marriage. I work like a dog so you could spend the paycheck. You couldn't care less if I had a heart attack tomorrow, as long as the life insurance was paid up.
Ken, that's not true.
Keep on. It'll be true.
Your play, babe.
I'd rather play with her.
Nice.
Anybody using your pad in the next couple hours?
Come on. I thought you were swearing off that after the last hassle with your father-in-law.
I have sworn off. Beginning tomorrow morning.
Look, I don't know.
Now, come on. After all the things I've done for you, Feather.
Name's Feather Tanner, ma'am. I've been sent here to ask why a beautiful lady like you is sitting all alone.
I don't understand.
Well, see that handsome devil over there? That's my friend, Mark Rainey. He's a little shy, but he's very eager to meet you.
Mark Rainey, the football player.
I can vouch for him being a gentleman, so why don't you two have a drink together on me? My place is up in the hills, 1298 Clover Drive. Very quiet, very private. Mark will meet you there.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hey, pal, you dig liar's poker?
Yeah.
Well, I need somebody to take my hand. My face is an open book. Right now, my pocketbook.
Well, sure, Feather. I'll be right with you.
Ken, would you like to hear...
Later, I'm gonna play liar's poker with the boys. Why don't you have another drink?
Sit right down over here.
All right. Let me have a little elbow room. Come on in. Well, boys, it's time to go home. I'll see you at practice tomorrow, huh?
Okay, hang loose.
All right. Later.
Now, why aren't you inside, relaxing by the warm light of Feather's nice fireplace?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't think I should be here at all. Driving up here gave me time to remember I'm married.
Well, that's a very serious condition. But there are ways to ease the pain.
Don't think I'm as liberated as I thought I was. Afraid I used you to get even with my husband. Don't be angry.
I won't. If you promise not to feel bad.
Okay?
Yeah.
Look, I've got to go inside and get my playbook, so why don't you come in and we'll have a drink as a nightcap, and then we'll both drive back into town. Cheers. You know, before I give you back to your husband, there's one thing I'd like to find out.
What's that?
I was right. They taste as good as they look.
Mark, look, I am flattered. And Mark, no. Please, let's stop now. I want to remember a nice man and a nice evening.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Thank you.
Look, we may never get this chance again.
was the argument about?
Nothing sensible. I just got loud and nasty like I always do when I'm drunk. I don't blame Marcia for walking out on me.
Well, I don't pretend to be a marriage expert, but it seems to me a simple apology could do you a lot more good than a car full of detectives.
I wish I could apologize. Marcia still hasn't come home. It's been 2 days.
Did you try her friends and relatives?
Nobody's seen or heard from her. I've even called the police, the hospitals. No word.
Maybe she's just trying to teach you a lesson.
That's what I thought. But she knew her brother Pete was going to be in town yesterday on his way to Japan. Now, she hasn't seen him in years, and she wouldn't have missed him for anything. But she never showed. I'm worried something's happened to her, something serious.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Harrison. I'll poke around and see what I can find. And if your wife should come back before you hear from me, you take my fee and buy her a great big bunch of American Beauty roses.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. I appreciate it. Is there anything else you need to know?
No, not at the moment. If there is, I'll call you.
It could be that Mrs. Harrison is just exerting her independence, even at the expense of not seeing her brother.
By hiding out? Doesn't sound like the liberated females I've been reading about. If you need me, I'll be at the end run.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, honey.
Just in time for lunch.
Oh, thanks, Jenny, but I just dropped by for a minute to go over some business with Mark.
Oh, okay, but if you change your mind, I'll just be inside.
How's it going, Paul?
Well, not too bad. These are the proposals I'm submitting to the ad agency next week. Personal appearances, product endorsements, your own off-season TV show.
I really appreciate what you're doing for me and Jennifer.
That's okay, Mark, as long as you realize that the ad people aren't just buying a quarterback. They're buying a symbol, somebody the youth of America can look up to.
What are you getting at, Paul?
There's a morals clause in those contracts. If your personal behavior isn't up to the highest standards, you could blow the whole deal.
If you're worried about me playing around, those days are long over with.
I came by to see you Sunday night. Jen said you were asleep. I didn't see your car in the garage.
Oh, my car? I lent it to one of my buddies on Sunday. He wanted to see how it felt before he bought one.
Jennifer loves you. I don't want her hurt, understand?
Are you kidding?
Call me when you've gone over those, okay?
There you go. What are you doing these days, Ben?
Just between us old-timers?
My ears are sealed.
Conducting a private investigation.
Gumshoe for the commissioner's office, huh? What a waste of a great baseball mind. Man like you've put into the game what you have. You should be managing in the big leagues.
Oh, I don't know. I think it'd be easier to do investigation than to try to teach these new kids who Eddie Basinski was.
I'm with you.
This lady was in here a couple of nights ago. You see her?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember her. She and her husband come in a lot. He's a big sports fan, and she's a real knockout, huh?
You see her leave?
Yeah, but not with her old man. It looked for a minute like Feather Tanner was going to try to put a move on her. He was at her table before she left, but then she took off alone.
Feather Tanner, the wide receiver for the Cougars?
Hey, you're a football fan too, huh? Way to go, Benji.
Where would I find Feather Tanner?
Well, I'm not supposed to give that information, but Feather's a great guy. I know he wouldn't mind helping an old-timer. He's got a pad up in the hills, right at the top of Clover Drive.
Well, I appreciate that, Mr.
Hennessy. Jack.
Jackie? If Eddie Basinski comes in, tell him the milk's on me.
Gotcha.
It's open. If you're from the LA Dispatch, you can quote me. Feather Tanner says we are going all the way to the Super Bowl this season.
Well, I'm afraid I'll never be able to report that. You see, the closest I ever came to being a sports writer was covering horseshoes for the Greenville High School Clarion.
Horseshoes? You're talking my language. I'm a country boy myself. Come on in.
Thank you.
Mr.
Jones, Barnaby Jones. I'm a private investigator.
Oh. What can I do for you, Mr. Jones?
Well, I was hoping you might have some information about the lady I'm looking for, Marcia Harrison. She was in the end run Sunday night.
A lot of chicks come in and out of that place.
Jack Hennessy said that you were the last person seen talking to her before she left. She hasn't been heard from since.
Oh. Yeah, now that you mention it, I do remember talking to someone who looks like that, but we just had a couple words together is all, and then she took off by herself.
By herself?
She was alone when she left. You figure this chick's maybe got herself into some sort of trouble?
I certainly hope not. You sure you don't have any idea where she may have gone?
I'd like to help, honest, but that's all I know.
Well, thank you very much. I hope you score a lot of touchdowns this year.
You have any trouble getting game tickets, you let me know.
Thank you, I'll do that.
Hello? Just a minute. It's for you, Mr. Jones.
Hello?
Barnaby, Lieutenant Biddle just called. A police helicopter spotted a car at the bottom of Clover Canyon, which is about a half a mile from where you are. They said it looks like the car that Marcia Harrison was driving.
Thank you, Betty. I'll get right over there. Thanks.
Something wrong?
I don't know yet. Police may have found Mrs. Harrison's car at the bottom of a canyon nearby.
All right, hold it, boys. Put it down right there.
It's Marcia Harrison, all right. You say it might not have been an accident.
Well, there are no skid marks, which means she didn't even try to use her brakes. Then I remember you telling me about the fight she had with her husband.
Suicide?
It's a possibility. All right, boy.
Wonder why she bothered to turn off the ignition if she drove this over the side deliberately.
You're right. I don't know. You got any ideas on this, Barnaby?
Not yet. If I get any, I'll let you know.
Come on, let's go over to your place and work on those new plays.
Where were you last night? I called you half a dozen times.
Jenny and I went up to her dad's for dinner. Why, what's up?
Didn't you hear the news? It was on TV last night. It was all over the papers this morning.
No, what news?
That chick from the end run, Marcia Harrison, she's dead. Killed in a car crash.
I didn't see the papers. I mean, that's too bad, but that's no reason to go to pieces.
Mark, they found her car not far from my place. And the night the police say she was killed, you were with her.
No, I wasn't.
What are you talking about? You went up there to meet her.
No, she never showed up. I thought she got cold feet, so I went on home. She must have gone off the road on her way up there.
You mean she never got there?
Hey, come on, buddy. Now, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Look, I know how you feel. I feel lousy, too. But it was an accident.
In the absence of evidence to the contrary, we're ruling it an accident, Mr. Harrison.
It wasn't an accident. I mean, I killed her. If I hadn't been so hard on her, she'd still be alive.
No point in blaming yourself, Mr. Harrison. Could have happened any place, any time. Are those her things?
And this is the apparel she was wearing. And those are the other items we found on her. I had them sent down.
I know it's hard for you, Mr. Harrison, but you mind looking through them and see if they're all here?
Her scarf, it's missing.
Sure she was wearing it?
Positive. It was her favorite. I gave it to her on our first wedding anniversary.
This key wasn't attached to the others. Kind of a unique design. Is this for any special purpose?
I don't know. I've never seen it before.
I think maybe I have.
What's the matter, old buddy? You look like you just got traded to the Timbuktu Bobcats.
Mark? This scarf? I found it behind the bar.
One of your girlfriends must have left it up here, huh?
No. I haven't had anybody up here since training started. Mark, you sure that Harrison chick wasn't up here Sunday night?
Now, wait a minute. I told you she never showed up here.
Yeah, I know what you told me. But look at this. Looks like blood. She was here, wasn't she? You've been conning me, Mark. That's gotta be it.
Oh, wait a minute, Feather. Hey, look, I did not know she was going to be some kind of a nut. See, first of all, she come on to me, and she was all eyes. And then she come up with this guilty wife bit. I just didn't even know what she wanted of me, you know? Well, things, they got out of hand. She tripped over them stairs and fell down and hit her head.
Oh, man, why didn't you tell me?
Because, Feather, I didn't want you to get mixed up in it. All I could think about was getting rid of the body so nobody knew what happened.
Are you crazy? You can't cover up something like this.
I have to. Listen, if this gets out, they'll clobber me with a morals clause. I'll lose $1 million deal.
You'll get into worse trouble trying to lie your way out of this. That detective who was here, Barnaby Jones, I think he's already onto something. And what if him or the cops start asking more questions?
Then you just tell them you don't know anything.
You want me to lie to the police?
You're my buddy, aren't you? I'd do the same for you if your life was on the line.
But she's dead.
I know she's dead. I know that. All I'm asking is that you cover for me.
I can't lie. Even at Liar's Poker, I lose my shirt every time I try to bluff. I can't do it, Mark. I can't.
Yeah, well, I guess you never could lie, old buddy. All right, I'll call the police and tell them what happened.
I'll stick by you. You'll see it's gonna come out all right.
Yeah, sure, buddy, sure will. Come on, why don't we get dressed? What do you say?
You know, I found you can always count on people in a clutch. And one thing's for sure, you can count on Ginny. She's so mad for you, she'll stand by you no matter what. Sure, she'll be sore for a while, but you'll see, she'll get over it.
How you doing? Well, you're here to see Feather, too, huh?
If he's on?
Well, I spoke to him a couple hours ago. He said he's going to be in all day. I just stopped by to pick up my playbook. I'm Mark Rainey.
I'm a fan of yours. I'm Barnaby Jones.
Barnaby Jones. Say, aren't you the detective Feather was telling me about?
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that missing girl?
I'm afraid so. She was killed in a car crash.
Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Well, I guess your job's all done now, huh?
Not necessarily. There's a possibility her death was not an accident. In that case, my job is just beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. That's weird. Feather wouldn't tell me to come by and then take off without saying something.
Let's try this.
Hey, Feather! Oh, my God. Oh. Hey, Mr. Jones! Mr. Jones!
Don't touch anything.
Get on that right away? Well, we'll have to wait for the autopsy report, but offhand, I'd say death occurred less than 2 hours ago. Apparently, he was trying to lift these weights, and they dropped it and fell on his head. 250 pounds?
It's an awful lot of weight for a wide receiver to have been lifting.
Wide, narrow, what's the difference? If 1/8 of a ton falls on your head, it's bad luck and goodbye.
Why, Feather? Why did he have to die?
I was hoping you'd help me answer that question.
What do you mean?
Feather was the last person to be seen with Marcia Harrison before she left the end run that Sunday night. She had his key in her purse.
Well, I guess I'm not giving away any secrets by telling you that Feather was quite a ladies' man. She was probably on her way up here to meet him.
Well, that's what I thought, too, until I found out that Marcia left at 8:15 and Feather hung around playing liar's poker till about 2.
He just probably got caught up in the game.
Mr. Rainey, when I was a young man, I used to get caught up in the game of horseshoes. My friends and I would pitch horseshoes for hours until a nice-looking young lady'd come by and throw us a smile. And then suddenly the game would stop in midair. I don't think Feather ever had a date with Marcia.
Wait a minute. You said yourself she was driving up here with Feather's key.
That puzzled me for a while, too. And then I remembered that Feather was a football player. Football is a tricky game. Take you, for instance. You use every fake, reverse, and decoy in the book to get the other team to run after the wrong man.
I don't quite follow your meaning.
Feather could have talked with Marcia, but she could have left with someone else. You were at the end run that night. Have you any idea who that may have been?
No, I left early. I'm not much for nightlife. I got myself a nice wife at home.
What about one of your teammates? Somebody could have had a key to this place.
Maynard Bates, he has a key. He and Feather used to do a lot of running around together. No, wait a minute. Maynard wouldn't be mixed up in a woman's death. I'll stake my life on that.
You're a true friend. Nevertheless, I think I ought to have a talk with Mr. Bates. What time did you leave the end run?
Mr. Jones, I'll level with you. We were all drinking. And with me, one shot's enough to make me see pink footballs. 2 drinks, and I couldn't even tell you what team I was playing for. All I know is I crawled into a taxi and went on home.
By yourself?
I wasn't in shape for company.
Anybody who would verify that you went straight home?
Mr. Jones, you've got to understand. I wasn't too anxious to have witnesses. Now, if the coach got wind I was bombed the night before practice, I'd be in bad trouble.
Today between 10 and 12. Where were you then?
I went home. Why are you asking me all these questions?
2 people are dead. I'm trying to find out how and why.
You think I had something to do with this?
Not necessarily, but you and Feather were friends. You had a key to his place.
Other guys had keys to Feather's pad.
Who?
I'd rather not say.
Well, I can understand how you feel, but hiding from the truth is kind of like turning your back on a tornado. It still won't stop it from blowing you away.
Feather gave a key to Mark Rainey a long time ago, but I'm sure he never used it since he and Jenny got married.
Anyone else?
Well, I can't be sure.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bates.
What's wrong, officer?
Did I see your driver's license? Whose car is this?
What's mine?
Did you know you're driving without rear license plates?
I don't get it. I wonder how that happened.
Did I see your registration?
Yeah. That's funny. I always keep it here.
What kind of pills are these?
I don't know. I never saw them before. I don't know how they got in there.
Hey, stand up, please. Stand up. Put your hands against the car.
Feather's dead?
Apparently he had an accident in his home.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry to be the bearer of this kind of news. I was hoping to talk to Mr. Rainey.
Mark, why?
My client's wife was killed several days ago. There may be a connection between her death and Feather's.
What does Mark have to do with it?
I don't know that he has anything to do with it. I just want to know where he was and some other people on Sunday night between 9 and 12. That's the time the coroner said that Mrs. Harrison died.
Well, there's no need to bother Mark about that. He was with me.
Jenny.
We had dinner at 9, and then we talked, and we watched some television, and we went to bed. Is it enough for you, Mr. Jones?
Yes, I think that's all I need for now. Sorry to bother you, Miss Rainey.
Jennifer, I came by Sunday night. You told me Mark was sleeping. He wasn't even home. Now, you lied to me. Now you've lied to that detective.
Dad, please.
Mark's been running around again, hasn't he? When are you going to face up to the truth about him?
What truth do you want me to face, Daddy? The truth that your daughter's lucky to have any man, yet alone a Mark Rainey?
Hey, Barnaby. Hello. Betty said you were trying to reach me.
Yeah, I think we found our murderer. The coroner called with the autopsy report on Feather. Your hunch was right. The death wound was caused by a blow from a much smaller object.
You say you know who did it?
Probably the same man that killed Marcia Harrison. Maynard Bates. I'm ready to book you.
You sure you're not making a mistake? I talked to Bates today. He didn't sound like a man who was covering up for a murder.
We have the evidence. A patrolman stopped Maynard's car. The rear license plate was missing. The officer found these pills in the glove compartment, brought him in. I spotted the scarf, called Ken Harrison. He said it belonged to his wife.
What does Bates say?
He still claims he was at home at the time Mrs. Harrison was killed, but he can't prove it. Now, my guess is he took her to Feather's pad. Things got rough, and she ended up dead.
How did Feather end up dead?
Well, there's still no direct evidence linking Bates to Feather's murder, but probably Feather found out what happened, threatened to expose Bates, and Bates killed him to keep him quiet.
Very neat theory.
Which you don't buy.
Mind if I have a talk with Bates?
Feather was my friend. How could I kill him?
You're not being charged with killing Feather. At least not yet. But you are charged with the murder of Mrs. Harrison. I have to admit, things don't look too good there. They found her scarf in your car.
I don't know how it got there. All I know is I didn't kill anybody. Look, maybe I don't have any more brains than it takes to run into people, but I'm not a killer.
You know, we've been very lucky.
How so?
This could have been a very tough case. I mean, we could have been in bad shape if that license plate hadn't fallen off of Bates's car.
What's your point?
Well, the point is that if the license plate hadn't fallen off of Bates's car, the officer wouldn't have stopped him.
But he did. And he found no registration in those pills.
And then he took him down to the station house where somebody could notice the scarf that was wrapped around the pills. Yes, sir. A lot of lucky things have been happening to us. I wonder if we deserved them.
Barnaby, if I don't book Bates, I'd be guilty of nonfeasance.
Mind if I borrow one of these?
What for?
Don't worry, I'm not going to swallow it.
Barnaby, I'll bet you a case of my mother's fudge we have a complete confession in 24 hours.
Lieutenant, much as I like your mother's fudge, I'm going to have to turn down that bet because I think we're going to have a confession, too. And this little pill might just get it for us.
Oh, Mark, thank heavens you're here. You heard about Feather?
Yeah, the team got the word this afternoon. I feel like the whole stadium caved in on me.
Mark, there was a private detective here, a man by the name of Barnaby Jones. He wanted to know where you were Sunday night between the hours of 9 and midnight when some woman was killed near Feather's house.
What'd you tell him?
I told him you were home with me.
Well, that's good. He won't bother us anymore.
But you weren't home. I lied to that detective. Daddy knows that I lied. Now, I made him promise that he wouldn't say anything, but we can't go on telling one lie after another.
Now, Jenny, you're making a big thing out of nothing. Now, I told you, I don't fool around anymore.
Do you think I care about that now? That detective was talking about murder.
You think I'm involved?
I just want you to tell me the truth.
Well, just who's gonna believe the truth? All right, I was at Feather's house that night. I went there to get my playbook. The doorbell rang and it was this woman Feather's been seen. Feather wasn't home, so she thought I'd fill in for her. She came on pretty strong. I pushed her away. She fell down. She hit her head. and she was dead.
Why didn't you call the police?
Well, even if the police did believe that, do you think that your father would have believed it? He would have taken that agency contract, torn it up, and thrown it right in my face.
We don't need my father or the contract. We have our own lives.
What lives, Jenny? You washing floors and me selling shoelaces?
You're a football player. You have the best years of your life ahead of you.
Jenny, I don't have anything. I'm all washed up. I couldn't even make it through the opening game this fall.
What are you talking about?
My arm, it's gone. I heard it in the playoffs. I thought it was just a strain, but it got worse. Well, you saw me at practice when I missed those passes. That's when I knew for sure. I can't throw anymore. I'm finished.
Why didn't you say anything?
Do you think they would have signed a $1 million endorsement contract with a washed-up quarterback? All I could do was string them along until they signed that contract. Then they'd be committed. Then I'd have a job, money, a future. But Jenny, if your father takes that away from me, I'm nothing. That contract is the only chance I have. Jenny, I never wanted to go near that woman. I swear that.
I believe you. It's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right.
How'd you make out?
Your idea paid off. I just had breakfast with Sam Dudley. He used to play with the Cougars when Rainey first started. Seems that Mr. Rainey was quite a swinger then, and the rumor is he may still be.
Oh? Dr. Stanley, this is Barnaby Jones. About that pill I discussed with you. I just ran an analysis on it, and it turns out to be diazepam. It's a muscle relaxer. Do you have a list of the Cougar team members who are receiving that medication now? Thank you. Yeah? Uh-huh. Thank you, Doctor. Well, that's quite an interesting list the doctor gave me.
Who's on it?
Not so much who's on it as who isn't.
Well, I'll see you later.
Okay.
You have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Morning, Mr. Rainey.
Morning, Mr. Jones.
Oh, you'd be happy to hear the good news. Maynard was released from jail. They dropped all the charges against him.
What charges?
He was a suspect in Marcia Harrison's murder. And Feather Tanner's.
Feather was murdered?
Whoever did it tried to pin it on Maynard Bates. He wrapped some pills in Marcia's scarf and hid it in Maynard's car. Then he made sure it would be discovered.
How do you know it was a frame?
Only 3 of the team were on that pill list. Maynard wasn't on it because he was allergic. 2 of them had airtight alibis. That just leaves one name, Mark Rainey.
But you said yourself that Feather was killed Wednesday morning between 10 and 12. Well, I was at home with my wife Wednesday morning. Wasn't I, Jenny?
Just like you were home when Marcia Harrison was murdered?
Jenny?
Feather was your friend. How many more killings am I supposed to lie about, Mark? He wasn't home Sunday night or Wednesday morning. I don't know where he was. I don't care.
Well, that's a very interesting theory, Mr. Jones. What do the police say about it?
Well, all I told the police was that the pills didn't belong to Maynard. I figured you'd want to tell them the rest of it.
Why so generous?
You used to be a big hero. To me, to a lot of people. I figure that still means something.
I appreciate that. Well, honey, I guess I better go down to that police station.
Mark?
You better come with me, Mr. Jones.
Mark, no! We had everything. I loved you.
I'm sorry, Jenny. I guess it wasn't enough.
Call the police and an ambulance.
Four sevens. Mr. Jones.
Debate.
I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you. This is my daughter-in-law, Betty.
Hi, Betty. It's nice to meet you. Please, come in. Sit down.
Thank you.
Jack, you give my friends anything they want.
Well, Mr. Bates, since it's on you, I'll have an extra tall glass of milk.
How did I know?
Well, I feel really reckless. I will have a glass of milk also.
Okay.
But I think I'll have a cherry with it.
Boy, you are feeling reckless, aren't you?
I'll take mine straight like Mr. Jones.
Takes an old ball player to handle a good stiff milk. Right, Benji?
Right, Jackie boy. Well, to Eddie Basinski.
Eddie Basinski? Wasn't he the only major league shortstop ever to wear eyeglasses on the field?
Eddie, you amaze me. How do you know that?
It's a secret between me and the old-timers.
The stadium lights cast long, flickering shadows over the gridiron, the air thick with the scent of damp grass and the fading echoes of a game that had been slipping away for hours. Quarterback Mark Rainey stood at the center of the fray, his breath hitching as he faded back, his eyes searching for the trajectory of a long, arching pass. It was a moment suspended in time, a fragile dream of victory hanging on the wind. Away from the roar of the crowd, in the cramped, dimly lit corners of a locker room, the conversation turned far less heroic. A group of linemen, their faces smeared with grime and sweat, grumbled about the imbalance of fame. They watched the screens where the camera lingered on the Golden Boys, the celebrated stars, while they, the anchors of the front line, were relegated to the shadows. It was a bitter, familiar dance. The contrast between the glamour of the sport and the gritty, unvarnished reality of the lives lived behind the facade was becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. In a quiet corner of the city, away from the cheers and the headlines, Feather Tanner sat with a look of weariness that went deeper than physical exhaustion. His home, a sprawling retreat nestled high in the hills on Clover Drive, was supposed to be a sanctuary, but it felt more like a cage. His marriage had become a battlefield of resentment and silent accusations. He had spent his prime years sacrificing his body and his time, only to be met with the cold indifference of a partner who seemed only interested in the dividends of his success. The dialogue between them was sharp, laced with the casual cruelty of two people who had long ago stopped listening to one another. Feather sought solace in the company of his friends, in the simple, high-stakes thrill of games like liar poker, where the truth was a commodity to be traded and bent, unlike the rigid, unforgiving reality of his domestic life. Enter Mark Rainey, the star quarterback, whose life seemed to be a polished reflection of all that Feather aspired to, yet beneath the surface, Mark was fracturing. He arrived at the scene with a heavy heart, the weight of his own secrets beginning to pull him toward an inevitable precipice. He had been entangled in a web of deceit, an affair that had started as a reckless escape and had spiraled into something much darker. Marcia Harrison, a woman whose own life was a tapestry of frustration and longing, had been drawn into Mark's orbit. The meeting at the local tavern was intended to be a simple, private arrangement, a momentary detour from the expectations of their public personas. However, when the time came for them to retreat to the quiet privacy of the hills, the reality of their situation began to dawn on them. The air was heavy with unspoken regret. Mark felt the suffocating pressure of his marriage to Jennifer, a woman whose devotion he was betraying with every calculated, deceptive move. As the days turned into a blur of uncertainty, the disappearance of Marcia Harrison began to cast a long, chilling shadow over everyone involved. Her husband, Ken, was a man consumed by the gnawing ache of the unknown, his initial anger at her departure replaced by a desperate, mounting dread. He sought out the help of Barnaby Jones, a private investigator whose quiet, methodical approach to the truth was a stark contrast to the frantic chaos of the situation. Barnaby was a man who understood the game of life, having seen enough to know that every action had a ripple effect, and that sometimes the smallest, seemingly insignificant details were the ones that held the key to the entire mystery. He moved through the lives of the characters with the persistence of an old-school professional, peeling back the layers of pretense to reveal the raw, often uncomfortable facts underneath. The discovery of the car at the bottom of the canyon was the turning point that transformed a missing persons case into a grim investigation. There were no skid marks, no signs of a struggle, just the tragic, silent evidence of a life cut short. As the pieces of the puzzle began to emerge, the narrative shifted from the disappointment of an unfaithful husband to the cold realization of potential murder. The investigation led Barnaby to the doors of the privileged and the celebrated, where he found a culture built on the protection of reputations and the suppression of the truth. Mark Rainey, once the idol of the youth, was now a man cornered by his own choices, clinging to a moral contract that he had already broken. His desperation to maintain the facade of a perfect life, to secure the million-dollar endorsements and the adoration of the public, had driven him to commit acts that he could no longer justify or hide. The truth emerged not with a thunderclap, but with a quiet, steady accumulation of evidence. The missing scarf, the misplaced pills, the inconsistencies in the alibis provided by those who were meant to be the most trusted. All these threads were pulled together by Barnaby Keen-Eye. He saw the patterns where others saw only coincidence. He understood that the pressure of the game, the relentless expectation of perfection, and the fear of failure could turn ordinary men into desperate, dangerous individuals. The final confrontation was not a clash of steel or a high-speed chase, but a moment of profound, human clarity. It was the realization that the masks they wore had become too heavy to bear, and that the truth, no matter how damaging, was the only path to a resolution that could bring any semblance of peace. As the case drew to a close, there was a sense of profound, quiet reflection. The casualties of this dark chapter were not just those who had lost their lives, but the illusions that had defined their existence. The sports world would continue to turn, the games would be played, and new heroes would rise to take the place of those who had fallen, but for those left behind, the lesson was etched in the memory of the events that had transpired. Barnaby Jones remained the steady, grounding force, a man whose integrity was his most enduring weapon. He walked away from the case with the knowledge that while he could not undo the past, he had done his duty in upholding the truth. The story ended not with a resolution of joy, but with the sobering realization of the value of honesty in a world that often demands a high price for its absence. It was a reminder that in the grand, complex game of life, the most important plays are not the ones on the field, but the ones we make when no one is watching, the choices that define our character, and the legacy we leave behind long after the final whistle blows. The silence that followed was heavy, yet it was the silence of a truth finally brought to light, and in that silence, there was the faint, hopeful promise of a new beginning, stripped of the deceit that had brought so much sorrow to so many lives. The stadium lights cast long, flickering shadows across the rain-slicked turf, mirroring the turbulent emotions simmering within the locker room. Mark Rainey, a quarterback whose name was once synonymous with victory, stood before his reflection, his gaze distant. Beside him, Feather Tanner, a wide receiver with a grin that could charm the staunchest critic, adjusted his shoulder pads. Tonight was the trap play, a maneuver as deceptive as the lives they were forced to lead. The air was thick with the scent of pine needles and the muffled roar of the crowd, a sound that usually fueled the fire in their veins but today felt strangely hollow. As the game progressed, each yard gained felt like a step further away from the truth. In the stands, the silence of a missing woman weighed heavily on the conscience of those who knew the secrets buried beneath the surface. The following morning, the reality of their choices settled in. Ken Harrison, a man whose world had crumbled with the disappearance of his wife, sought answers from the only person he believed could navigate the labyrinth of deceit. Barnaby Jones, a man of quiet determination and a sharp mind, listened to the tale of loss with empathy. The investigation led him to the opulent hills, a place where luxury and isolation masked the fragility of human existence. At the residence of Feather Tanner, the atmosphere was fraught with unspoken accusations. The discovery of a scarf, a vibrant splash of color in a drab room, served as a chilling reminder of the life that had been extinguished. It was a thread, thin and fragile, yet it was the one that would eventually unravel the intricate web of lies. As the days passed, the investigation deepened, revealing the darker side of the pedestal upon which society placed its heroes. The moral clauses in contracts, the relentless pursuit of fame, and the crushing weight of expectation had pushed men like Mark Rainey to the brink. The tragedy of Marcia Harrison was not merely an accident. It was a consequence of a lifestyle built on shifting sands. Each interview, each piece of evidence, brought Barnaby Jones closer to the heart of the enigma. He understood that the truth was rarely simple, often buried under layers of pride and fear. He walked the line between justice and mercy, seeking not just to solve a crime, but to understand the human condition that led to such desperate actions. The confrontation, when it finally arrived, was devoid of the grand spectacle the public might have expected. It was quiet, intimate, and devastating. In the sterile environment of a police station, the masks finally slipped. Mark Rainey, the golden boy of football, was forced to confront the wreckage of his own making. The revelation of a secret, the injury that had ended his career, laid bare the desperation that had driven him to commit the unthinkable. It was a story of a man caught in the trap of his own ambition, a narrative that resonated with the fragility of success and the enduring power of honesty. In the end, as the truth came to light, the community was left to grapple with the complexities of loyalty and integrity. Barnaby Jones, having fulfilled his duty, found solace in the simple pleasures of life, the camaraderie of old friends, the warmth of a shared meal, and the quiet satisfaction of a job well done. The shadows that had loomed over the city began to dissipate, replaced by the cautious optimism of a new beginning. The lessons learned were etched not in stone, but in the memories of those who had witnessed the unraveling of a hero and the emergence of a man. The stadium lights continued to shine, but the game had changed, and with it, the understanding of what it truly meant to win. The quiet, reflective moments that followed provided a space for healing. Families, once torn apart by suspicion and silence, began the slow process of reconciliation. The story, while marked by the tragedy of lost lives, served as a poignant reminder of the value of transparency and the importance of valuing people over prestige. Barnaby Jones remained a beacon of integrity, his presence a reminder that even in a world obsessed with appearances, the truth would always find a way to emerge. As the sun set over the horizon, casting a golden hue upon the city, there was a sense of peace that had been long absent. The cycle of deceit had been broken, replaced by the enduring promise of a life lived in the light of truth. The journey had been long and arduous, but it had yielded a clarity that was both profound and necessary. The characters, once trapped in their own narratives of success and failure, had found a measure of redemption. The tragedy of the past became the catalyst for a more authentic future. In the quiet halls of justice and the bustling corners of the city, the spirit of humanity prevailed, reminding everyone that while the game of life might be full of traps, the choice to act with honor was always within reach. The final whistle had blown, and in the aftermath, there was a profound sense of closure, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. The legacy of the events would linger, a story passed down through the years, a reminder of the fragility of fame and the enduring strength of character. It was a narrative of transformation, a journey from the darkness of denial to the illuminating power of acceptance. The lessons, while hard-won, were invaluable, serving as a guide for those who would follow. In the end, it was not the scores or the accolades that defined them, but the choices they made when no one was watching and the strength they found in each other to face the truth. The story of Mark Rainey and those touched by his actions would remain a cautionary tale, but also a testament to the possibility of change and the enduring capacity for grace. The quiet, steady rhythm of life returned, but it was changed. The people of the community had seen the human side of their idols, the vulnerability behind the armor. This shift in perspective fostered a greater sense of connection and understanding. Barnaby Jones, ever the observant mentor, continued his work, his quiet strength a comforting presence. The legacy of the case was not just in the solved mysteries, but in the renewed commitment to the principles of honesty and compassion. The world, while still complex, seemed a little more navigable when grounded in the truth. The story had come full circle, leaving behind a lasting impression of the importance of living with intention and integrity. The final pages of this chapter in their lives were written not with flourish, but with the quiet dignity of those who had weathered the storm. The future, while uncertain, was now filled with the possibility of growth and renewal. As the memories of the events faded, they left behind a foundation upon which a new, more authentic life could be built. The journey had been difficult, but it had been essential, a rite of passage that had tested the mentality and the spirit of all involved. In the quiet solitude of their own hearts, they found the strength to move forward, carried by the knowledge that they had faced the truth and emerged on the other side, changed and perhaps a little wiser. The echoes of the past, while present, no longer held the power to disrupt the peace of the present. Life went on, with all its challenges and triumphs, but now it was informed by the wisdom gained through adversity. The community stood together, a testament to the power of shared humanity and the enduring nature of hope. As the seasons changed, so too did the lives of those involved, each finding their own path toward reconciliation and peace. The story, with its blend of humor, tragedy, and ultimately humanity, served as a reminder that every action leaves a mark, and it is up to each individual to ensure that the legacy they leave is one of kindness, truth, and enduring compassion. The final act had concluded, the curtain drawn on a chapter that had held both heartache and discovery. In the stillness of the aftermath, there was a sense of profound clarity. The characters had played their parts, faced their demons, and in the process, had discovered the true measure of their worth. The story, while centered on the life of a football player, was ultimately about the human struggle for meaning and the courage required to be authentic. It was a reminder that in the grand scheme of life, the most important victory is the one won over oneself, the battle against the illusions that keep us from the truth. As the days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, the memory of the events became a part of the tapestry of their lives, woven into the fabric of their shared history. The lessons remained, guiding them through the complexities of a world that was often more gray than black and white. Barnaby Jones continued his quiet, deliberate work, a silent observer of the human condition, his presence a testament to the value of patience, insight, and the unwavering pursuit of justice. The story of the trap play was more than just a crime. It was a profound exploration of the fragility of success and the enduring strength of the human spirit. The conclusion was not an ending, but a new beginning, a shift in focus toward the values that truly mattered. The characters, now older and perhaps a little more weathered, continued their lives with a newfound sense of purpose and appreciation for the simple joys. The legacy of the events was one of growth, a testament to the capacity for transformation and the enduring power of truth. In the end, the story was a reflection of the beauty and the complexity of the human experience, a reminder that while the path may be fraught with obstacles, the journey itself is the true reward. The quiet, steady progress of life continued, marked by the resilience of those who had faced the truth and found the strength to move forward. The community, once touched by the scandal, had found its way back to a place of understanding and unity. The story of Mark Rainey and the others, once a source of gossip and speculation, had settled into the collective consciousness as a reminder of the importance of empathy, integrity, and the courage to live authentically. As the sun continued its path across the sky, life unfolded in its own rhythm, a beautiful and complex dance that each person was invited to participate in with grace and sincerity. The final legacy was one of hope, a belief that even in the face of the most difficult challenges, there is always the potential for healing and renewal. The story had served its purpose, a beacon of truth in a world of illusions, a reminder that the most important connections are the ones we build with honesty and mutual respect. The journey had been long, the lessons hard-won, but in the end, it was the triumph of the human spirit that remained, a testament to the capacity for good that exists within each and every one of us. The final reflection on the events was one of gratitude for the lessons learned and the connections formed. The story of the trap play, with its intricate turns and unexpected outcomes, had provided a backdrop for a deeper understanding of the human condition. It was a narrative that resonated with the complexities of life, the beauty of vulnerability, and the enduring power of truth. In the end, it was not the fame or the fortune that defined the journey, but the connections made, the truths confronted, and the strength found in the midst of adversity. The journey was complete, and in its wake, it left a lasting legacy of insight and inspiration for all who would walk the path in the years to come. The Trap Play. Chapter 1. The Game of Illusions. The television screen flickered with the vibrant colors of a Sunday night football game, casting a warm, shifting glow across the dimly lit interior of the End Run Lounge. The local sports bar was a haven for off-duty athletes and dedicated fans alike, a place where the air hummed with relaxed chatter and the clinking of glasses. On the screen, the commentator's voice echoed through the room. Moments of the game slipping away. Quarterback Mark Rainey fades back. It is a long, Archie foul. Mark Rainey, too. Sitting at a corner table, Feather Tanner, the star wide receiver for the Cougars, watched the screen with a playful smirk. He leaned back, crossing his muscular arms, and shot a glance at his friend and teammate, Mark Rainey. "Now, you tell me," Feather drawled, his voice carrying the easy confidence of a man used to the spotlight. "How come is it every time? Close-ups. It is always you All-American boys, and never one of us? Pretty lineman." Mark, holding a glass of sparkling water, chuckled softly. "That is because linemen do not just work in the pit. They are so ugly. They should live in one." Feather laughed, a deep, booming sound that turned a few heads in the bar.
"Ooh."
Feather. Across the room, the atmosphere was decidedly less festive. Marcia Harrison sat rigidly at a small table, her eyes darting nervously toward her husband, Ken. Their conversation had devolved into the familiar, exhausting rhythm of a bitter argument. "Some kind of marriage," Ken muttered, his voice thick with resentment. "I worked like a dog, so you could spend the paycheck. You could not care less if I had a heart attack tomorrow, as long as the life insurance was paid up." Marcia flinched as if struck. "Ken, that is not true." "Keep on, it will be true," Ken snapped, standing up abruptly. He tossed a few bills onto the table. "Your play, babe. I would rather play with her." He stormed off toward the billiards area, leaving Marcia alone in the shadows of the booth. She closed her eyes, fighting back the sting of tears. Nearby, Feather noticed the beautiful, solitary woman. Always a man to appreciate a pretty face, he nudged Mark.
"Nice. Thumb up."
"Anybody using your pen in the next couple of hours?" Mark shook his head, looking mildly amused.
"No."
"Come on," Mark added, his tone taking on a slightly cautionary edge. "I thought you were swearing off that affluent last hassle with your father-in-law." Feather grinned, entirely unrepentant. "I am swearing off. Beginning tomorrow morning. Look, I do not know. Now, come on. After all the things I have done for you, Feather." With a smooth, practiced stride, Feather made his way over to Marcia's table. He offered her a charming, disarming smile. "Name is Feather Tanner, ma'am. I've been sent here to ask why a beautiful lady like you is sitting all alone." Marcia looked up, startled and defensive. "I do not understand." "Well, you see that handsome devil over there?" Feather gestured casually toward Mark. "That is my friend, Mark Rainey. He is a little shy, but he is very eager to meet you." Marcia's eyes widened slightly in recognition. Mark Rainey, the football player. "I can vouch for him being a gentleman," Feather continued smoothly. "So, why do you not two have a drink together on me? My place is up in the hills, 1298 Clover Drive. Very quiet, very private. Mark will meet you there. He slipped a brass key onto the table, right next to her trembling hand. Before Marcia could fully process the bold invitation, Feather winked and walked back to his table. Hey, wait a minute, Mark said as Feather returned. Hey, pal, you dig liar's poker?
Yeah.
Well, I need somebody to take my hand. My face is an open book. Right now, I am a pocketbook. Mark looked at his friend, then glanced toward the door. The pressure of his secret life, the fading glory of his athletic career, weighed heavily on his shoulders. Well, sure, Feather. I will be right with you. Meanwhile, Ken returned to the table, his temper slightly cooled but still simmering. Ken, would you like to hear? Marcia began, hoping to bridge the gap. Later, Ken interrupted dismissively. I am going to play liar's poker with the boys. Why do you not have another drink? Sit right down over here. He walked away again. Marcia looked at the brass key gleaming on the table. Driven by a mix of anger, neglect, and a desperate need to feel valued, she picked it up, her fingers closing tightly around the cool metal. Later that evening, the bar began to empty. All right, Mark called out to his teammates. Well, boys, it is time to go home. I will see you at practice tomorrow, huh? Okay, hang loose, came the chorus of replies. Feather clapped Mark on the shoulder. Now, why are you not inside relaxing by the warm light of Feather's nice fireplace? Mark sighed, the weight of reality crashing down on him. Well, to tell you the truth, I do not think I should be here at all. Driving up here gave me time to remember I am married. Feather nodded, his expression softening with unexpected empathy. Well, that is a very serious condition, but there are ways to ease the pain. Miles away, at the secluded house on Clover Drive, Marcia arrived. The silence of the hills was a stark contrast to the noisy bar. She let herself in, the heavy door clicking shut behind her. When the front door opened again a short while later, she expected to see the famous quarterback. Do not think I am as liberated as I thought I was, Marcia said softly to the figure entering the room. Afraid I used you to get even with my husband. Do not be angry. I will not, the voice replied. If you promise, that is the field day. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I've got to go inside and get my playbook, so why do you not come in, and we will have a drink as a nightcap, and then we will both drive back into town. Cheers. Glasses clinked. The atmosphere shifted, becoming tense. You know, before I give you back to your husband, there is one thing I would like to find out, the man said, moving closer. What is that? Marcia asked, her voice trembling slightly. I was right. They taste as good as they look. Panic flared in Marcia's eyes as unwanted advances were made. Mark, look, I am flattered. And I, Mark, no. Please, let us stop now. I want to remember a nice man and a nice evening. Okay, that is fair enough, the voice said, though the tone carried a chilling edge. Thank you. Look, we may never get this chance again. A sudden struggle ensued. Footsteps scrambled against the hardwood floor.
Mark.
Marcia cried out, her voice echoing in the empty, luxurious house. Then a sudden, tragic fall. Silence descended upon the house on Clover Drive, heavy and absolute. Chapter 2. The Missing Wife. The morning sun bathed the city in a bright, unforgiving light. Barnaby Jones, a private investigator with a gentle demeanor and a mind as sharp as a steel trap, sat in his comfortable office. Across from him sat Ken Harrison, his face etched with worry and the bitter residue of regret. What was the argument about? Barnaby asked, his tone soothing, non-judgmental. Ken rubbed his temples, staring at the floor. Nothing sensible. I just got loud and nasty like I always do when I am drunk. I do not blame Marcia for walking out on me. Barnaby leaned forward, resting his hands on his desk. Well, I do not pretend to be a marriage expert, but it seems to me a simple apology could do a lot more good than a car full of detectives. I wish I could apologize, Ken said, his voice breaking. Marcia still has not come home. It has been 2 days. Did you try her friends and relatives? Nobody has seen or heard from her. I have even called the police, the hospitals. No word. Ken looked up, his eyes pleading. Maybe she is just trying to teach you a lesson. That is what I thought. But she knew her brother Pete was going to be in town yesterday on his way to Japan. She has not seen him in years. And she would not have missed him for anything. But she never showed. I am worried something has happened to him. Something serious. Barnaby nodded slowly, piecing together the fragments of the story. I will tell you what, Mr. Harrison. I will poke around and see what I can find, and if your wife should come back before you hear from me, you take my fee and buy her a great big bunch of American Beauty roses. A flicker of hope crossed Ken's face. Thank you, Mr. Jones. I appreciate it. Is there anything else you need to know?
No.
Not at the moment. If there is, I will call you. As Ken left the office, Barnaby stood up and looked out the window. It could be that Mrs. Harrison is just exerting her independence even at the expense of not seeing her brother, he mused aloud to himself. By hiding out, does not sound like the liberated females I have been reading about. He grabbed his coat. If you need me, I will be at the end of the run. Chapter 3. The Quarterback's Burden. In a bright, modern office overlooking the city, Mark Rainey was facing a different kind of pressure. Hi, Dad. Jennifer Rainey, Mark's cheerful wife, said as she walked into the office. Paul, her father and Mark's manager, smiled warmly. Hi, honey. Just in time for lunch. Oh, thanks, Jenny, but I just dropped by for a minute to go over some business with Mark, Paul said, his professional demeanor slipping into place. Okay, but if you change your mind, I will just be inside, Jenny replied, leaving the two men alone. Paul handed Mark a thick folder. How is it going, Paul? Not too bad. These are the proposals I am submitting to the ad agency next week. Personal appearances, product endorsements, your own off-season television show. Mark flipped through the pages, the numbers staggering him. I really appreciate what you are doing for me and Jennifer. Paul's expression turned serious, his eyes locking onto Mark's. That is okay, Mark, as long as you realize that the ad people are not just buying a quarterback. They are buying a symbol. Somebody the youth of America can look up to. Mark shifted uncomfortably. What are you getting at, Paul? There is a morals clause in those contracts. If your personal behavior is not up to the highest standards, you could blow the whole deal. If you are worried about me playing around, those days are long over with. Mark tried to maintain a steady gaze. I came by to see you Sunday night. Jen said you were asleep. I did not see your car in the garage. My car. Mark stammered slightly, recovering quickly. I lent it to one of my buddies on Sunday. He wanted to see how it felt before he bought one. Paul leaned in, his voice a low, protective growl. Jennifer loves you. I do not want her hurt, understand? Mark forced a confident smile. Are you kidding? Call me when you have gone over those. Okay, there you go. Meanwhile, Barnaby Jones arrived at the End Run Lounge. The daytime atmosphere was subdued, the scent of stale beer and cleaning supplies lingering in the air. Barnaby approached the bartender, Jack Hennessy. What are you doing these days, man? Just between us old-timers, the bartender asked, wiping down the mahogany surface. Barnaby chuckled. My years are sealed. Conducting a private investigation. Gumshoe for the commissioner's office, huh? What a waste of a great baseball mind. A man like you has put into the game what you have. You should be managing in the big leagues. Oh, I do not know, Barnaby replied with a modest smile. I think it would be easier to do an investigation than to try to teach these new kids who Eddie Basinski was. Jack laughed heartily. I am with you. This lady was in here a couple of nights ago. You see her? Barnaby slid a photograph of Marcia Harrison across the counter. Jack picked it up, squinting. Yeah, I remember her. She and her husband come in a lot. He is a big sports fan, and she is a real knockout, huh? You see her leave? Yeah, but not with her old man. It looked for a minute like Feather Tanner was going to try to put a move on her. He was at her table before she left, but then she took off alone. Barnaby raised an eyebrow. Feather Tanner, the wide receiver for the Cougars? Hey, you're a football fan too, huh? Way to go, Benji. Where would I find Feather Tanner? Barnaby asked politely. Jack hesitated for a fraction of a second. Well, I am not supposed to give that information, but Feather is a great guy. I know he would not mind helping an old-timer. He's got a pad up in the hills, right at the top of Clover Drive. Barnaby tipped his hat. Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Hennessy. Jack. Jackie. If, Eddie Basinski comes in, tell him the milk is on me. Gotcha. Chapter 4. The Silent Canyon. Barnaby drove up the winding roads of Clover Drive, the air growing cooler and the houses more sparse. He found Feather Tanner's house, a sprawling, modern structure nestled into the hillside. He knocked on the door. It is open. A deep voice called out. Barnaby stepped inside to find Feather stretching on a plush rug. If you're from the Los Angeles Dispatch, you can quote me. Feather Tanner says we are going all the way to the Super Bowl this season. Barnaby smiled warmly. Well, I am afraid I will never be able to report that. You see, the closest I ever came to being a sports writer was covering horseshoes for the Greenville High School Clarion. Feather paused, looking intrigued. Horseshoes? You're talking my language. I am a country boy myself. Come on in. Thank you, Mr.
Jones.
Barnaby Jones. I am a private investigator. Feather's relaxed demeanor shifted slightly.
Oh.
What can I do for you, Mr. Jones? Well, I was hoping you might have some information about the lady I am looking for. Marcia Harrison. She was in the end run Sunday night. A lot of chicks come in and out of that place. Jack Hennessy said that you were the last person seen talking to her before she left. She has not been heard from since. Feather scratched his head, feigning a vague recollection.
Oh.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I do remember talking to someone who looks like that, but we just had a couple words together is all, and then she took off by herself. By herself. She was alone when she left. You figure this chick has maybe got herself into some sort of trouble? Feather asked, his voice steady, but his eyes cautious. I certainly hope not. You sure you do not have any idea where she may have gone? I would like to help, honest. But that is all I know. Well, thank you very much, Barnaby said, sensing the wall the athlete was putting up. I hope you score a lot of touchdowns this year. You have any trouble getting game tickets, you let me know. Thank you. I will do that. As Barnaby stepped outside, his pocket phone buzzed. Hello? Just a minute. It is for you, Mr. Jones. It was his trusted associate, Betty. Hello? Barnaby, Lieutenant Biddle just called. A police helicopter spotted a car at the bottom of Clover Canyon, which is about a half a mile from where you are. They said it looks like the car that Marcia Harrison was driving. Barnaby's heart sank. Thank you, Betty. I will get right over there. Thanks. He rushed to the scene. The canyon was steep and rugged. Police tape fluttered in the wind, and officers were carefully navigating the rocky terrain. Lieutenant Biddle greeted Barnaby with a grim expression. Something wrong? Barnaby asked. I do not know yet. Police may have found Mrs. Harrison's car at the bottom of a canyon nearby. All right, hold it, boys. Put it down right there. The crushed remains of the vehicle were a sobering sight. It is Marcia Harrison, all right, Biddle confirmed softly. You say it might not have been an accident. Well, there are no skid marks, which means she did not even try to use her brakes. And I remember you telling me about the fight she had with her husband. Suicide. Barnaby questioned, his analytical mind already working. It is a possibility. All right, boys, Biddle called to his team. I wonder why she bothered to turn off the ignition if she did not want to kill herself, Barnaby pointed out, his keen eyes spotting the key turned to the off position. She drove us over the side deliberately. Biddle frowned. You are right. I do not know. You got any ideas on this, Barnaby? Not yet. If I get any, I will let you know. Chapter 5. Crumbling Defenses. The news of Marcia's death hit the airwaves, sending ripples of anxiety through those connected to that fateful Sunday night. At the training facility, Feather approached Mark, his face pale beneath his helmet. Come on, let us go over to your place and work on those new plays. Where were you last night? Mark asked, trying to sound casual. I called you half a dozen times. Jenny and I went up to her dad's for dinner.
Why?
What is up? Did you not hear the news? Feather hissed, pulling Mark aside. It was on television last night. It was all over the papers this morning. No, what news? That chick from the end run, Marcia Harrison. She is dead. Killed in a car crash. Mark feigned shock perfectly. I did not see the papers. I mean, that is too bad, but there is no reason to go to pieces. Mark, they found her car not far from my place. And the night the police say she was killed, you were with her. No, I was not.
What are you talking about?
You went up there to meet her. No, she never showed up, Mark lied smoothly. I thought she got cold feet, so I went on home. Feather stared at him, desperately wanting to believe his best friend. She must have gone off the road on her way up there. You mean she never got there? Hey, come on, buddy. Now that is what I am trying to tell you. Look, I know how you feel. I feel lousy, too. But it was an accident. At the police precinct, Ken Harrison sat across from Lieutenant Biddle, utterly broken. In the absence of evidence to the contrary, we are ruling it an accident, Mr. Harrison, Biddle explained gently. It was not an accident, Ken sobbed. I mean, I killed her. If I had not been so hard on her, she would still be alive. No point in blaming yourself, Mr. Harrison. It could have happened any place, any time. Are those her things? And this is the apparel she was wearing. And those are the other items we found on her. I had them sent down. I know this is hard for you, Mr. Harrison, but do you mind looking through them and see if they are all here? Ken sifted through the small plastic bags containing Marcia's personal effects. He stopped, his brow furrowing. Her scarf, it is missing. You sure she was wearing it? Positive. It was her favorite. I gave it to her on our first wedding anniversary. Barnaby, who had been observing quietly, stepped forward and picked up a single brass key from the table. It was key. It was not attached to the others. Kind of a unique design. Is this for any special purpose? Ken shook his head. I do not know. I have never seen it before. Barnaby pocketed the key, his instincts flaring. I think maybe I have. Later that evening, Mark visited Feather's house. He found Feather staring at the fireplace, a heavy burden evident in his posture. What is the matter, old buddy? Mark asked. You look like you just got traded to the Timbuktu Bobcats. Feather turned slowly. Mark, this scarf? I found it behind the bar. One of your girlfriends must have left it up here. Huh? He held up the vibrant, delicate fabric, Marcia's favorite scarf. Mark froze, his confident facade cracking.
No.
I have not had anybody up here since training started. Mark, you sure that Harrison chick was not up here Sunday night? Feather's voice trembled with a mixture of betrayal and fear. Now, wait a minute. I told you she never showed up here. Yeah, I know what you told me, Feather said, stepping closer, holding the scarf up to the light. But look at this. Looks like blood. She was here, was she not? You have been conning me, Mark. That has got to be it. Mark sighed, realizing the lie had run its course. The pressure valve burst. Wait a minute, Feather. I did not know she was going to be some kind of a nut. First of all, she come on to me, and she was all eyes. And then she come up with this guilty wife bit. I just did not even know what she wanted of me, you know? Well, they got out of hand. She tripped over them stairs and fell down and hit her head. Feather stepped back, horrified. Oh, man. Why did you not tell me? Because, Feather, I did not want you to get mixed up in it. All I could think about was getting rid of the body so nobody knew what happened. Are you crazy? You cannot cover up something like this. I have to. If this gets out, they will clobber me with a morals clause. I will lose $1 million deal. Mark grasped Feather's arms pleadingly. You'll get into worse trouble trying to lie your way out of this, Feather argued, his moral compass struggling against his loyalty to his friend. That detective who was here, Barnaby Jones? I think he is already onto something. What if him or the cops start asking more questions? Then you just tell them you do not know anything. You want me to lie to the police? You are my buddy, are you not? I would do the same for you if your life was on the line. Mark's eyes were desperate, pleading. But she is dead. I know she is dead. I know that. All I am asking is that you cover for her. Feather shook his head, looking miserable. I cannot lie. Even at liar's poker, I lose my shirt every time I try to bluff. I cannot do it, Mark. I cannot. Mark's expression hardened, a dark shadow crossing his features. Yeah, well, I guess you never could lie, old buddy. He forced a smile, masking his inner turmoil. All right, I will call the police and tell them what happened. I will stick by you, and you will see. It is going to come out all right. Feather breathed a sigh of immense relief, clapping Mark on the shoulder. Sure, buddy, sure. Come on, why do we not get dressed? What do you say? You know, I found you can always count on people in a clutch, Mark said softly, his mind racing with terrible, desperate plans. One thing is for sure. You can count on Jenny. If she is so mad for you, she will stand by you no matter what. Sure, she will be sore for a while, but you will see. She will get over it. Chapter 6. The Weight of Silence. The next morning, Barnaby Jones returned to Clover Drive. As he walked up the path, he noticed a large, muscular man standing near the entrance, shifting restlessly. How you doing? Barnaby asked amicably. Well, you are here to see Feather too, huh? You think he is on? The man asked. Well, I spoke to him a couple hours ago. He said he is going to be in all day. The man extended a massive hand. I just stopped by to pick up my playbook. I am Mark Rainey. Barnaby shook his hand. I am a fan of yours. I am Barnaby Jones. Mark's smile was practiced, flawless. Ah, Barnaby Jones. Say, aren't you the detective Feather was telling me about? Did you find that missing girl? I am afraid so, Barnaby replied, watching Mark's face closely. She was killed in a car crash. Ah, that is too bad. That is too bad. Well, I guess your job is all done now, huh? Barnaby shook his head slowly. Not necessarily. There is a possibility her death was not an accident. In that case, my job is just beginning. Mark swallowed hard, maintaining his polite facade. Yeah. He gestured toward the door. That is weird. Feather would not tell me to come by and take off without saying something. Let us try this. Hey, Feather. They entered the house. The living room was quiet. As they moved toward the home gym area, Mark suddenly stopped. Oh, my God, Mark gasped. Hey, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones. Barnaby hurried forward. On the floor lay Feather Tanner, pinned beneath a massive barbell. The great athlete was completely still. The silence in the room was deafening. The police arrived swiftly. Flashbulbs illuminated the grim scene. Lieutenant Biddle analyzed the setup. Do not touch anything. Get on that right away. We'll have to wait for the autopsy report, but offhand, I would say death occurred less than 2 hours ago. Apparently, he was trying to lift these weights, and they dropped it and fell on his head. Barnaby stared at the barbell. 250 pounds? That is an awful lot of weight for a wide receiver to have been lifting. Biddle shrugged. Wide, narrow. What is the difference? If an eighth of a ton falls on your head, it is bad luck and goodbye. But Barnaby wasn't convinced. The timing, the relationships, the missing pieces, they all formed a puzzle that his mind refused to abandon. Why Feather? Why did he have to die? I was hoping you would help me answer that question. What do you mean? Biddle asked. Feather was the last person to be seen with Marcia Harrison before she left the end run that Sunday night, Barnaby explained, piecing together the timeline. She had his key in her purse. Well, I guess I am not giving away any secrets by telling you that Feather was quite a ladies' man, Biddle reasoned. She was probably on her way up here to meet him. Well, that is what I thought, too, until I found out that Marcia left at 8:15 and Feather hung around playing liar's poker till about 2. He just probably got caught up in the game. Barnaby turned to Mark, his gaze penetrating. Mr. Rainey, when I was a young man, I used to get caught up in the game of horseshoes. My friends and I would pitch horseshoes for hours until a nice-looking young lady would come by and throw us a smile. And then suddenly the game would stop in midair. I do not think Feather ever had a date with Marcia. Mark blinked, looking confused. Wait a minute. You said yourself she was driving up here with Feather's key. That puzzled me for a while, too, and then I remembered that Feather was a football player. Football is a tricky game. Take you, for instance. You use every fake, reverse, and decoy in the book to get the other team to run after the wrong man. I do not quite follow you. Barnaby smiled softly. Feather could have talked with Marcia, but she could have left with someone else. You were at the end run that night. Have you any idea who that may have been? No, I left early. I am not much for nightlife. I got myself a nice wife at home. What about one of your teammates? Somebody could have had a key to this place. Mark hesitated, playing his part perfectly. Maynard Bates, he has a key. He and Feather used to do a lot of running around together. Now, wait a minute. Maynard would not be mixed up in a woman's death. I will stake my life on that. You are a true friend, Barnaby noted, catching the subtle shift of blame. Nevertheless, I think I ought to have a talk with Mr. Bates. Chapter 7. The Frame-Up. Barnaby found Maynard Bates at the training facility. Bates was a towering, straightforward man, clearly nervous about the questioning. What time did you leave the end run? Barnaby asked. Mr. Jones out-leveled with you, Maynard confessed, looking down at his enormous hands. We were all drinking, and with me, one shot is enough to make me see pink footballs. 2 drinks, and I could not even tell you what team I was playing for. All I know is I crawled into a taxi and went on home. By yourself? I was not in shape for company. Anybody who would verify that you went straight home? Maynard shook his head, miserable. Mr. Jones, you have got to understand. I was not too anxious to have witnesses. Now, if the coach got wind I was bombed the night before practice, I would be in bad trouble. Barnaby pressed gently. Today, between 10 and 12. Where were you then? I went home. Why are you asking me all these questions? 2 people are dead. I am trying to find out how and why. You think I had something to do with this? Not necessarily, Barnaby replied, his tone remaining neutral. But you and Feather were friends. You had a key to his place. Other guys had keys to Feather's pad. Who? I would rather not say. Well, I can understand how you feel, but hiding from the truth is kind of like turning your back on a tornado. It still will not stop it from blowing your way. Maynard sighed, the moral dilemma weighing on him. Feather gave a key to Mark Rainey a long time ago, but I am sure he never used it since he and Jenny got married. Anyone else? Well, I cannot be sure. Well, thank you, Mr. Bates. The plot thickened rapidly that afternoon on a busy highway. A patrol officer pulled Maynard Bates over. What is wrong, officer? Maynard asked. May I see your driver's license? Whose car is this? It is mine. Did you know you are driving without rear license plates? Maynard looked genuinely bewildered. I do not get it. I wonder how that happened. May I see your registration? Maynard popped the glove compartment.
Yeah.
That is funny. I always keep it here. He frowned as a small pill bottle rolled out, wrapped in a vibrant piece of fabric. The officer leaned in. What kind of pills are these? I do not know. I never saw them before. I do not know how they got in there. Stand up, please, the officer ordered sternly. Stand up. Put your hands against the car. Meanwhile, Barnaby paid a visit to the Rainey household. Jenny opened the door, her bright smile welcoming. Feather is dead? She asked, her hand flying to her mouth in shock as Barnaby relayed the news. Apparently, he had an accident in his home. Oh, no. I am sorry to be the bearer of this kind of news, Barnaby said kindly. I was hoping to talk to Mr. Rainey. Mark?
Why?
My client's wife was killed several days ago. There may be a connection between her death and Feather's. Jenny's brow furrowed defensively. What does Mark have to do with it? I do not know that he has anything to do with it, Barnaby clarified softly. I just want to know where he was and some other people on a Sunday night between 9 and 12. That is the time the coroner said that Mrs. Harrison died. Well, there is no need to bother Mark about that. He was with me. We had dinner at 9, and then we talked and we watched some television and we went to bed. Is that enough for you, Mr. Jones? Barnaby studied her face, recognizing the desperate, protective love of a devoted wife. Yes, I think that is all I need.
For now.
Sorry to have bothered you, Mrs. Rainey. As soon as the door closed, Paul, who had been listening from the living room, stepped forward. Jennifer, I came by Sunday night. You told me Mark was sleeping. He was not even home. Now you lied to me. Now you have lied to that detective. Dad, please. Mark has been running around again, has he not? When are you going to face up to the truth about him? What truth do you want me to face, Daddy? Jenny cried, tears brimming in her eyes. The truth that your daughter is lucky to have any man, let alone a Mark Rainey? The next morning, at the precinct, Lieutenant Biddle was feeling confident. Good morning. I bet he thought you were trying to reach me. Yeah, I think we found our murderer. The coroner called with the autopsy report on Feather. Your hunch was right. The death wound was caused by a blow from a much smaller object. You say you know who did it, Barnaby said, pouring a cup of coffee. Probably the same man that killed Marcia Harrison, Maynard Bates. I am ready to book you. Barnaby raised his eyebrows. You sure you are not making a mistake? I talked to Bates today. He did not sound like a man who was covering up for a murder. We have the evidence, Biddle insisted. Patrolman stopped Maynard's car. The rear license plate was missing. The officer found these pills in the glove compartment and brought him in. I spotted the scarf, called Ken Harrison. He said it belonged to his wife. What does Bates say? He still claims he was at home at the time Mrs. Harrison was killed, but he cannot prove it. My guess is he took her to Feather's pad. Things got rough, and she ended up dead. How did Feather end up dead? There is still no direct evidence linking Bates to Feather's murder, but probably Feather found out what happened, threatened to expose Bates, and Bates killed him to keep him quiet. Very neat theory. Which you do not buy, Barnaby observed. Mind if I have a talk with Bates? In the interrogation room, Maynard Bates looked like a broken giant. Feather was my friend. How could I kill him? You are not being charged with killing Feather, Barnaby told him gently. At least not yet. But you are charged with the murder of Mrs. Harrison. I have to admit things do not look too good there. They found her scarf in your car. I do not know how it got there. All I know is I did not kill anybody. Look, maybe I do not have any more brains than it takes to run into people, but I am not a killer. Barnaby patted his shoulder, offering a reassuring smile. He left the room and found Biddle in the hallway. You know, we have been very lucky, Barnaby mused aloud. How so? This could have been a very tough case. I mean, we could have been in bad shape if that license plate had not fallen off of Bates' car. What is your point? Well, the point is that if the license plate had not fallen off of Bates' car, the officer would not have stopped him. But he did. And he found no registration in those pills. And then he took them down to the station house where somebody could notice the scarf that was wrapped around the pills. Yes, sir. A lot of lucky things have been happening to us. I wonder if we deserve them. Biddle sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. Barnaby, if I do not book Bates, I would be guilty of nonfeasance. Barnaby picked up the evidence bag containing the pills. Mind if I borrow one of these? What for? Do not worry. I am not going to swallow it. Barnaby, I will bet you a case of my mother's fudge we have a complete confession in 24 hours. Barnaby chuckled warmly. Lieutenant, much as I like your mother's fudge, I am going to have to turn down that bet because I think we are going to have a confession, too. And this little pill might just get it for us. Chapter 8. The Last Play. That afternoon, Mark rushed into his house, finding Jenny pacing the living room. Oh, Mark, thank heavens you are here. You heard about Feather? Yeah, the team got the word this afternoon, Mark said, his voice ragged. I feel like the whole stadium caved in on me. Mark, there was a private detective here, a man by the name of Barnaby Jones. He wanted to know where you were Sunday night between the hours of 9 and midnight when some woman was killed in your Feather's house. Mark's eyes widened. What did you tell him? I told him you were home with me. Mark exhaled a shaky breath, stepping forward to embrace her. Well, that is good. He will not bother us anymore. But Jenny pulled back, her eyes searching his face. But you were not home. I lied to that detective. Daddy knows that I lied. Now, I made him promise that he would not say anything, but we cannot go on telling one lie after another. Now, Jenny, you are making a big thing out of nothing, Mark protested. Now, I told you, I do not fool around anymore. Do you think I care about that now? That detective was talking about murder. You think I am involved? I just want you to tell me the truth. Mark looked away, the weight of his actions crushing him. The walls were closing in, the facade shattering. Well, just who is going to believe the truth? I will, Jenny pleaded, her voice breaking. All right. Mark finally surrendered, the words spilling out like a broken dam. I was at Feather's house that night. I went there to get my playbook. The doorbell rang, and it was this woman Feather has been seeing. Feather was not home, so she thought I would fill in for her. She came on pretty strong. I pushed her away. She fell down. She hit her head, and she was dead. Jenny gasped, covering her mouth. Why did you not call the police? Well, even if the police did believe that, do you think that your father would have believed it? He would have taken that agency contract, torn it up, and thrown it right in my face. We do not need my father or the contract, Jenny cried, her fierce love shining through the shock. We have our own lives. What lives, Jenny? You washing floors and me selling shoelaces? You are a football player. You have the best years of your life ahead of you. Mark slumped onto the sofa, completely defeated. Jenny, I do not have anything. I am all washed up. I could not even make it through the opening game this fall. What are you talking about? My arm. It is gone. I hurt it in the playoffs. I thought it was just a strain, but it got worse. Well, you saw me at practice when I missed those passes. That is when I knew for sure. I cannot throw anymore. I am finished. Tears streamed down Jenny's face. Why did you not say anything? Do you think they would have signed a $1 million endorsement contract with a washed-up quarterback? All I could do was string them along until they signed that contract. Then they would be committed. Then I would have a job, money, a future. But, Jenny, if your father takes that away from me, I am nothing. That contract is the only chance I have. Jenny, I never wanted to go near that woman. I swear that. Jenny knelt before him, taking his large, shaking hands in hers. I believe you. It is going to be all right. Everything is going to be all right. Meanwhile, Barnaby was putting the final pieces together. He sat in his office, speaking into the telephone. How did you make out? Your idea paid off. I just had breakfast with Sam Dudley. He used to play with the Cougars when Rainey first started. Seems that Mr. Rainey was quite a swinger then, and the rumor is he may still be. Oh, Dr. Stanley. This is Barnaby Jones. About that pill I discussed with you, I just ran an analysis on it, and it turns out to be diazepam. It is a muscle relaxer. Do you have a list of the Cougar team members who are receiving that medication now?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, doctor. Barnaby hung up, a solemn expression on his face. Well, that is quite an interesting list, Dr. Gimme.
Who is on it?
Not so much who is on it as who is not. Well, I will see you later.
Okay.
You have a good day. You too.
Bye.
The next morning, Barnaby arrived at the Rainey home. The air was crisp, holding the promise of a new day, yet heavy with impending resolution. Morning, Mr. Rainey. Barnaby greeted politely as Mark opened the door. Morning, Mr. Jones. Thought you would be happy to hear the good news. Maynard was released from jail. They dropped all the charges against him. Mark blinked, maintaining his composure. What charges? He was the suspect in Marcia Harrison's murder. And Feather Tanner's. Feather was murdered? Whoever did it tried to pin it on Maynard Bates. He wrapped some pills in Marcia's scarf and hid it in Maynard's car. Then he made sure it would be discovered. How do you know it was a thing? Barnaby's eyes were filled with a grandfatherly sadness. Only 3 of the team were on that pill list. Maynard was not on it because he was allergic. 2 of them had airtight alibis. That just leaves one name. Mark Rainey. Mark's jaw tightened. But you said yourself that Feather was killed Wednesday morning between 10 and 12. Well, I was at home with my wife Wednesday morning. Was I not, Jenny? He turned to his wife, expecting the familiar shield of her loyalty. But Jenny stood pale and resolute, her eyes filled with tears, mourning the loss of the man she thought he was. "Just like you were home when Marcia Harrison was murdered?" Barnaby asked gently. "Jenny," Mark pleaded, a crack in his voice. "Feather was your friend," Jenny sobbed, her voice trembling but firm. "How many more killings am I supposed to lie about, Mark? He was not home Sunday night or Wednesday morning. I do not know where he was. I do not care." Mark stared at her, the realization dawning that his web of lies had finally ensnared the one thing he truly loved. The illusion was over. The game had ended. "That is a very interesting theory, Mr. Jones," Mark said softly, his shoulders slumping in total surrender. "What did the police say about it?" "All I told the police was that the pills did not belong to Maynard," Barnaby explained compassionately. "I figured you would want to tell them the rest of it." Mark looked up, a glimmer of profound gratitude in his eyes. He realized the detective was offering him a shred of dignity, a chance to face the consequences like a man, rather than being dragged away in cuffs. Why so generous? "He used to be a big hero to me, to a lot of people," Barnaby replied warmly. "I figure that still means something." Mark nodded, a heavy sigh escaping his lips. "I appreciate that. Well, honey, I guess I better go down to that police station." He turned to walk out the door, the burden of his secrets finally lifting, though the road ahead was dark. "Mark," Barnaby called out softly. "You better come with me, Mr. Jones." "Mark, no." Jenny cried out, reaching for him. "We had everything. I loved you." Mark stopped, looking back at her one last time, his heart breaking. "I am sorry, Jenny. I guess it was not enough. Call the police on an ambulance. 4 cents. Chapter 9. The Comfort of Truth. The dust settled over the city, the truth finally brought to light. It was a somber victory, yet filled with the quiet grace of justice restored. There were no grand shootouts, no dramatic chases, just a man facing the consequences of his fear, and a detective whose gentle wisdom had unraveled a tragedy. A few days later, the atmosphere at the End Run Lounge was warm and convivial. The television hummed in the background, but the true warmth came from the company. Barnaby sat at a table with Maynard Bates and his daughter-in-law, Betty, a bright and astute young woman who often assisted him. "Mr. Jones, Mr. Bates, I am glad you could make it," Barnaby said, smiling. "Thank you," Maynard replied, looking vastly relieved, the dark cloud of suspicion entirely lifted from his massive shoulders. "This is my daughter-in-law, Betty."
Betty.
"It is nice to meet you. Please come in. Sit down," Betty offered warmly. "Thank you." Jack Hennessy, the bartender, walked over with a wide grin. "Jack, you give my friends anything they want." "Well, Mr. Bates, since it is on you, I will have an extra tall glass of milk," Barnaby ordered, his eyes twinkling. Maynard laughed softly. "How did I know?" Betty smiled mischievously. "Well, I feel really reckless. I will have a glass of milk also, but I think I will have a cherry with it." Barnaby chuckled. "Oh, you are feeling reckless, are you not? I will take mine straight, like Mr. Jones. Takes an old ball player to handle a good stiff milk. Right, Benji?" Jack called out. "Right, Jackie boy." Barnaby raised his glass, the pure white liquid a symbol of the clarity and truth they had uncovered. "Well, to Eddie Basinski." Betty tilted her head, her curiosity piqued. Eddie Basinski? Was he not the only Major League shortstop ever to wear eyeglasses on the field? Barnaby looked at her, utterly amazed and incredibly proud. "Betty, you amaze me."
"How do you know that?"
She leaned in, a playful smile on her lips, her eyes dancing with the joy of shared knowledge and familial warmth. "It is a secret, between me and the old-timers." The glasses clinked together in a soft, cheerful toast. The trap play had been solved, the innocent were free, and amidst the gentle hum of the local bar, life moved peacefully on.